more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is the show. John Madsen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm your host, John Madsen. Excited to be here. Have a great episode for you. This is, in this episode, I'm going to go deep into what fitness program is best for you. And this is going to be super helpful because this is something that a lot of people have asked me. So we're going to go into detail into how to choose the best option when there seems to be so many options so that you can ultimately get the best result. Because the state of fitness in America is literally incomprehensible right now. Anybody who's walked through Costco or walked through the airports lately or in the past 10 years have probably noticed that people are fucking out of shape. I just got back from Vegas. We were staying at the Bellagio, and I literally, as we were checking in, I saw two people who were probably 75 to 100 pounds overweight, which is fine, except for the fact that they were on motorized wheelchairs, which would be fine also. But they were drinking those yard-long Las Vegas cocktails at the same time. And as I saw that, and then 10 minutes later saw a guy pull down his mask to take a puff of cigarette and then pull up his mask, I realized, and I've realized this for a long time, I've actually spoke about it quite extensively, that obviously the state of American health is bananas right now. So, you know, those people are probably not listening to this podcast. All of you guys are high performers in some way, shape, or form. You guys want to live an exceptional life. That's why you probably resonate with this show and this message. If you didn't, you probably wouldn't like this message. So what I'm really going to speak to today is how you, if you've put time and energy and money into fitness and you still don't have that wow look and feel and type of performance that you're after, and you probably wonder right now if it's even possible for you, if you're too old, if you're too hurt, if it's even worth it, how restrictive you have to be, etc. This episode is for you, and it's for the people who, once again, are already putting some time, money, and energy into looking, feeling, and performing a certain type of way, because you understand that there's obviously much more benefit to being healthy than to not being healthy. I want to now talk to you and help you decide, again, what is the best form of fitness for you to do. So I've broken it down into 5 categories today. And this episode is going to be short. It's going to be concise. It's going to be to the point. So we're not going to fill it in with a bunch of fluff, because I want this to help people choose the right thing. So the first way that a person can spend their time and spend their energy is in an at-home fitness program, meaning it could be body weight, it could be buying a peloton, it could be buying one of those new tonals. Think at-home fitness, maybe, and there should be a subcategory here, which is like, you have like pelotons and exercise equipments that are kind of new and techy. And then you have at-home fitness, which would be like garage gym type of shit, which I like. But let's just go over these 5 first, and then we'll kind of divide them up. So you have the at-home fitness. Then you have group fitness. Think F45, Orange Theory, CrossFit, anywhere where you're going to go to a specific gym and you're going to be working out with other people. Probably, you know, there's small group and then there's large group. But let's just imagine anywhere from 6 to 20 people at a time. From there, you get PT, personal training. The next category after that would be online coaching, which is what I do. And then the one category beyond that is specialized. Okay. And I'm going to define what all of these are. And hopefully at the end of this episode, you understand like the pluses and minuses of all the programs, because although I think that I want as many people in the world as possible to do my program because I believe in it. There's still times when my program isn't for everybody. So this isn't like going to direct you to one outside the other as much as I can possibly do without bias, which is somewhat impossible. However, I do want to kind of break down and let you guys know, what other options are out there. And so let's talk about the first category, which is at-home fitness. And this at-home fitness, I'm not going to talk about garage gym for a second. I'm talking about the pelotons, the treadmills, the body weight workouts, basically not a lot of equipment. You're not using dumbbells and kettlebells and barbells and stuff like you would in the garage gym. So let's kind of make two categories out of this. First one, can you get fit with pelotons, treadmills, body weight programs at home? And the answer 100% is you can absolutely make progress. So I want you guys to understand where you're at right now. You have to look in the mirror. You have to take inventory. Are you average in your fitness, trying to be good? Are you going from good to great? Are you going from great to exceptional? Because it matters here. For me, doing an at-home program without heavy resistance is not going to get me to my end goal. So you have to know what you're playing for, and you have to then understand which one of these different categories can take you there the fastest with the least amount of, detours. So, for example, if you're a person who wants to look like an athlete and you want to look shredded and you want to be strong and you want to be powerful, doing Peloton workouts at home or doing body weight workouts at home all the time is probably not going to be the fastest way for you to look jacked and shredded and get back to that fighting shape when you were in your prime. It's just not. Now, if you're a person who's sitting there and you're looking in the mirror and you're going like, damn, I need to drop 30 to 50 pounds and I need to do it in the most convenient way. I don't live by a gym. It would be very inconvenient for me to go 25 minutes to find a gym and do that stuff. Or maybe I'm just not confident right now in myself to put myself into that arena, which would be a public gym. At that point, the convenience of doing some type of programming at home, whether it's body weight, whether it's P90X, or you put, back in the day it was DVDs. Now you can get stuff on demand on your phone, or you're going to do Peloton stuff. You then are going to play the game that you're trying to do enough activity to get your caloric burn higher than it normally would be if you were to do nothing. And so absolutely those things can have a dramatic effect on how much burn you have through the day. Because if you're going from not very good shape and you're not very active, by putting more activity and more effort into your fitness, even if it's in your living room, you can absolutely, with modification to your dietary needs, which this episode is not about, but absolutely that's going to be like the underlying thing for every single one of these categories. You're not ever going to get the result that you want unless you get coached up on your nutrition. So let's just say that you are going to modify your nutrition, and for the sake of ease, every single person, once again, if you want some take home to do tips, if you ate single ingredient whole foods 90% of the time, and you weren't eating from boxes and packages, and you didn't want to count macros, and you didn't understand how to count proteins and carbohydrates and fats, and you just wanted to clean stuff up, and you largely eliminated alcohol and sugary drinks and any liquids with calories, and you ate fruits and vegetables and lean sources of protein 90% of the time, you're going to go from a person who's not in very good shape to a person who is in above average shape. If you wanted to go exceptional, there'd be more detail there. So let's just say that you make those modifications, you want to work out at home for convenience, and maybe you don't have the confidence to go into the gym, and or you bought one of those Pelotons and are wondering if it can do the job. If your goal is to simply lose weight, it can absolutely be effective, especially if you're going from not doing very much to hitting that 3, 4, 5 times a week. So let me be very, very clear here. If your goal is to simply lose weight and you don't care to look like a Greek god and you don't care to be Fight Club shredded and you don't care to look like a freaking athlete like you did 20 years ago, then you absolutely can start the process at home with body weight workouts, pelotons, and or whatever else you have. Subcategory of at-home workouts would be full-blown garage gym. I have a ton of clients who have garage gym. They like it for convenience. They don't like the public gym feel. I have a garage gym at home that I freaking love because you don't get bothered, and that has barbells and kettlebells and all the stuff. So that is absolutely, different than just saying at-home program. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that. The next thing you could do if you were looking for help would be to join a group training program. And a lot of times I've, taken shots at F45 or CrossFit or Orange Theory. And the short of it is this: some people don't want to think about what they do. And it's so convenient for them to go to one of these gyms that's 5 to 10 minutes away. Maybe you love it so much and the camaraderie and the environment is conducive to getting a great workout. You go and you work out with your buddies and it's just a thing. I'm all about that for people who need the other type of support in order to make this something that they do all the time and are very consistent with. If you need training buddies and you need that social aspect and you like to have a little bit of fun and be entertained at the same time, you absolutely can join your style of, small boutique gym, I guess, which all have their differences. F45 is more circuity based, 45 minutes, you're done. You don't have to think about it. You show up and it's just bam, 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 bam. You get a workout, you burn calories, you get you use a little bit of resistance. Same thing with Orange Theory, probably a little bit less resistance than F45, but you go there, you show up, you have your probably normal people that show up at largely the same time. You get the workout done in 45 minutes to an hour. You walk out, you're done, you're dead, all good. And if you can be consistent with that type of stuff for the rest of your life, more power to you. So some people like to be a little bit heavier. They go to a great CrossFit gym. They like to compete, and they would choose that option too. What I'm trying to say here is there's many different ways to get fit. And what my opinion is on all of this is I believe that I personally, if I'm very clear about the outcome that I want the shortest the plan that's going to be the shortest amount of time and the shortest amount of effort to get there. Not meaning you're lazy, but think about, I used to have one of these boutique gyms and we were very strength and conditioning based. And I cared a lot about the programming, which a lot of these gym owners do, right? The issue is that when you're running a business, you need a certain amount of people to make that business profitable. And so therefore your programming is generalized for people that's going to benefit, it's going to be beneficial for maybe 80% of your membership based, where 20% might need some advanced level programming or some modifications, but it's really hard to do that in a group setting. And so although most of these gyms are doing the best that they can, it's for the betterment of the group in general. And part of that is entertainment and fun, which I'm a little bit more concerned about just getting the end result. So just understand, whether you choose F45 or Orange Theory or some of these other boutique gyms, it's all good. You just have to know what you're in it for. Okay. You have to know what you're in it for. A lot of times these gyms are, from a price standpoint, $100 a month to $200 a month. And it's just like on the clock and you just keep going. And your job is to stay consistent and to improve. And if you can do that for a long period of time and you're not going to burn out and that's the stuff that fills you up, then more power to you, because the alternative is to not be in an environment that makes you want to go. And if you're not getting any enjoyment out of it, you're probably not going to go for long. And then it's just going to be this vicious cycle. So is that a good option? Absolutely. If that's what you want to do, perfect. Now, if you're going to do that and you don't know how to modify the nutrition for you personally, once again, you can follow my guidelines that I laid out earlier in the show and just be very general. But the people who look and feel and perform in a shape that's pretty ridiculous and pretty elite, they go beyond just the generalizations. Let's move on to PT. So now, you get into, should I do that, or should I have a personal trainer? Personal trainer is a great option, but it's always going to be highly dependent on who that personal trainer is. A lot of times, once again, you go to the gym that's nearest to you. And so it's not like you get a pick from a large pool of people. You're going to say, this gym is 5 miles away or 10 miles away. Here's the personal trainers that are available to me, and I get to choose one of those. And a lot of times, from my experience, those personal trainers are, 20 to 25 years old, side job, getting them through college. Yes, they're in shape. They understand some of the mechanics. They understand some of the science. However, is that person going to be the person that not only is going to, tailor the program to your specific needs, but also develop that influence to get you to buy in over and over and over again, right? So a lot of times you see these personal trainers and they have a clipboard and they're just like writing stuff down, and it's just like, look, they're not bad people. They're really good people. They want to help people. But a lot of times it's just like, hey, I need to get the next person in, right? And they might need to be on the floor for 8 hours a day. All good. But when they're stacking their days like that and they're always on the floor, it's really hard for them to pay attention to the little details that are going to move the needle the most, which is being super on top of exactly how much you're eating to get you the look that you're actually paying for, because that's a whole other aspect. So PT can be a great option for those who have never done any type of training before. If you don't know how to do anything and you want to know why to do some things or what movements work, what muscle groups, and you are coming from a knowledge base of like zero and you haven't really trained a lot in your life, going through PT for a solid, 6 months to a year could be very, very beneficial for you to understand with a set of eyes on exactly how to do the proper movements the right way. Because if you've never done it before, you watch a video and you may or may not be even close to how that exercise is supposed to be done. So in some regards, even though with technology and apps and videos and explanations, if you've never done something before and you're a complete beginner, even though you can watch something on video, it's a lot different than having a set of eyes and a person there to be like, do it exactly like this. So if you're a beginner, I actually love personal training for people who want to have the understanding so that they can then train safely for the rest of their lives. So understand that personal training does have its place. But you're pretty limited to who that person is going to be. You may end up with a great one. You may end up with one that's shitty. You never know. Just like anything else, right? There's good boutique gyms and there's ones that aren't so good. There's good online coaches and there's some that aren't so good. So just know that there's a spectrum of everything. There's good lawyers, there's bad lawyers, there's good dentists, there's bad dentists. So you can't really just group specifically and form an opinion with, not knowing that there's going to be a spectrum of people who are really, really, really great at what they do and people who are not, somewhat average. Let's move to online. Obviously, this is near and dear to me because I've been a boutique gym, and over the past 2.5 years, I've scaled online with clients all over the United States and North America. Now, our ideal client is the client who is already doing some sort of fitness. They're already putting their time, money, and energy into some of these other categories. Yet they look in the mirror and they still they're still not elite, right? They're still not elite. And they wonder if for them, it's even possible genetically, their age, whatever it is, whatever belief systems they have, right? And so in the online format, we want people to have some understanding of some of the movements because we're going to be coaching them through video. They're going to have an app, they get to see it, but then it's largely up to them to feel it, right? Because they're not going to have us like right there in person watching them work out. This program, like in my opinion, the online world and the way that I've created in my mind is high achieving entrepreneurs that do not need a personal trainer to just hold a clipboard and count reps for them. They don't need a friend at the gym. They have a great social circle. It's all good. They're going to the gym for one fucking reason and one reason only: to look elite and to be elite in everything that they do. So in that regard, they've already trained some in the past. They largely have a good understanding of movement patterns and stuff like that. A lot of them are former athletes. And I'm not saying all, I'm just saying like ideally this happens because this person, once again, is not going to the gym to be entertained. This person doesn't give a fuck about entertainment when they're going to the gym. This person is like, look, I'm going to look, feel, and perform better than I ever have and better than all of my friends. And when I go to the beach or I go on vacation, the people that I go with are going to look at me and think, what in the fuck are you doing or have you been doing? How do you have 6 abs? How do you have 8 abs? And you're going to do it in a way that brings this understanding into your world. This level of awareness when it comes to food and nutrition and training, and you know exactly what to do. You know exactly what you don't have to do. You know exactly how much effort is necessary, and you have all of the pieces, and you have somebody that knows, not because they've done it in themselves, but because they've done it thousands of other times repeatedly, and you start to understand for the rest of your life, you know exactly what to do. The online world, the online coaching world is great for that type of person. The type of person who doesn't need anything else other than the one thing. And that one thing is, look, man, I just want the result. I want to look, feel, and perform better than I ever have in my entire life. You give me the plan and give me some education behind it so that I know what to do, so that for the rest of my life, I know what to do, and I'm all in. Because I want to not only be good, in fact, I'm not even interested in great, I want to be elite. I want to take it to that next level. And see, that's where the nutrition guidelines and stuff are different. It's no longer just about eat single ingredient whole foods 80% of the time, give up sugary drinks, largely give up alcohol. It's what specifically for my body type, for me at this point in my life, for my body mass, should I eat? Exactly how many proteins, carbohydrates, and fats should I eat? When can I manipulate this stuff so that I don't feel like I'm restricted all the time? How can I live my life in this way where I can eat a lot of food and still stay lean? I want to know all of that, and I want help doing it. And I don't need a babysitter. I don't need a savior. I need a fucking coach to tell me when I'm fucking up, and I need a coach to tell me exactly what to do. And damn it, I'm a high achiever and I'll do it. The online world, once again, like that's ideal for, right? That's ideal for, because if a person needs a babysitter, you can't babysit online. We're coaching people in Florida, in Canada, in California, all over, but they're all the same type of personality where they're not looking for babysitters. They're looking for somebody to show them the way and show them the most efficient way, not for the group, but for them specifically. It's almost like going to tailor and getting a suit that's just tailor fit to you personally, not for your brother, not for your friends, for you. And that plan fits your lifestyle because your lifestyle is different. That's the level of efficiency we can get to for the type of people that come into Superhuman, because we are boutique online and we're not trying to do cheap $39 a month packages for people for thousands. We are unique and tailored to the individual so that they personally can experience the best results for them. So I'm obviously passionate about that one, but this episode is for people who are trying to decide what they should do. Okay? Because not everyone should do that. Once again, if you need babysitters, if you need a friend, if you need, all the shit that's not just your best top performance and your best performing body, then online is not for you. Do something where someone can hold your hand a little bit. And then beyond online, I have specialized. Specialized is for the guy who's like, look, man, I need to train for the NFL Combine. I wouldn't train anybody for the NFL Combine online. I could oversee their nutrition plan online, and we do that. However, I would need to train them in person because there's so much detail into certain movements and certain things that are going to have massive massive implications for their careers that it's super important, right? So that would be a form of specialization that like you'd have to go see a specialist for. Another thing would be like guys that come in and they're like, dude, I want to win a bodybuilding contest. I want to compete at the highest level in bodybuilding. I really don't give a shit about that, right? But there's actually online coaches that are specialists for getting guys stage ready. And, you know, they're going to talk about the different PEDs and all the stuff that's going to need to be taken if you want to go down that road. That's not my world. And so there's specialists that if you were to come in and say, John, I want to win this bodybuilding show and it's blah, blah, blah. There's people that have done that specialize in specific training and nutrition protocols for that type of fitness. And I would say, go to my buddy so-and-so because he's a specialist in getting men or getting women ready to jump on stage and wear medals and do that type of stuff. And so understand, like, I think a lot of times in business, people try to be for everybody. And when they're for everybody, it's like some of the people suffer because they need different stuff. So that's why I wanted to make this episode quickly, is just help bring understanding for some people, especially if you don't know who I am and you're just listening to the show for the first time and you're thinking like, man, should I do Superhuman or should I not do Superhuman? Or, you know, I'm going to F45. What does John think about F45? Or should I do this new thing I see online, which is like the boxing fight club thing that, you know, or the tonal or the peloton? It's like, here's my answer. You have to ask yourself, A, what your outcome is. I have said over and over and over again on this show, I want to look like an athlete. I want to look like King Leonidas. I want to look like a savage. And so if I know that, I have to train a certain way, right? And it's got to be specific and I got to eat specific for that goal. I can't just go and do what everybody else is doing. I got to do specifically what it's going to take in that regard. And so if you know what your outcome is, and it's just, you know, to lose weight and look better than you do and feel better, there's more options. But if you want to go, if you're craving to be elite, right? If you're craving to be elite, there's got to be some specialization. And at some point, you got to stop worrying about the things that don't really matter that much, which is, you know, being entertained, and focus more on the thing that's going to get you the ultimate result, so that you can actually achieve the goal that you have instead of taking forever to get there. And so that's my answer. This podcast was different than a lot of the other shows that I've done. I went very specific here. We broke down 5 different categories of fitness, which is at home, group training, personal training, online coaching, and specialized form of training. And hopefully that gave you a broad understanding of maybe where you should look so that you can achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. Hopefully this podcast helps. Let me know, drop me a DM, send me a message. Love hearing from y'all, and appreciate you liking, sharing, and leaving reviews. Truly, truly appreciate you guys, because the show is growing and it's continued to grow because of you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.